The meeting is now called to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Cancro.
Here.
Mrs. Chu.
Here.
Mr. Hong.
Here.
Mrs. Lax. Mrs. Reese.
Here.
Mr. Seeler.
Here.
Mrs. Shaw.
Here.
President Simmons.
Here we have a quorum. Please rise to salute the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the East Brunswick Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the board offices located at 760 Route 18, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Written notice was also provided to the Sentinel, the New York Star Ledger, the Home News and Tribune, and the Municipal Clerk of East Brunswick. All Board of Education meetings, with the exception of executive session discussions, are videotaped for later broadcast. It is the policy of the Board of Education. The videotape meetings are not edited for any purpose. Individuals who speak at the board's public meetings should be aware of these videotaping rules. Good evening, everyone. Got a pretty short open session tonight, so we'll get right to it. Dr. Valesky, do you have a report?
I do not have a report tonight.
I told you I had a short one. Go to the cause for the public. Any members of the public wish to address the board on school-related matters of concern, please note there's a 5-minute limit. And if you have an individual student or staff issue, let's address that with the administrator. Anybody wish to speak today? Nobody. Okay. Seeing none, close the public portion. And may I have a motion for this evening's Board of Education, Financial Services, Human Resources, Student Services agendas?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Becker, second by Mrs. Shaw. Is there any discussion? Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Cancro.
Yes.
Mrs. Chu.
Yes.
Mr. Hong.
Yes.
Mrs. Reese.
Yes.
Mr. Seeler.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
President Simmons.
Yes, motion carries. Well, we're going to turn to go to the cause for the board and committee reports. We're going to start with the high school, but we have a special guest now that just walked in.
Welcome back, Ruthie.
How's school?
I don't know who to call on first, but I'm going to actually ask for a report from both of you. We'll start with the high school, then we'll start with Rutgers. So for the high school, what's going on?
All right. So recently, the high school's Model UN team won the Outstanding Large Delegation Award at the Rutgers Model UN Conference. This continues their ongoing streak of winning school-wide awards, and it has kept up East Brunswick's position as one of the top Model UN programs. They're excited for their upcoming conference in Washington, D.C., NAMAN, one of the most challenging conferences in the nation. The EBHS One Cup was given out to the National Honor Society for uniting the school and fostering a positive school environment. They achieved this through all of their events I've mentioned at previous meetings, the Powder Puff football game and the bonfire. And lastly, the Future Business Leaders of America Club is facilitating a Rutgers Day, where students from Rutgers Business School will be showing our high school students how to network, how to cultivate their personal brand, and how to have a social media presence. It will also include an entrepreneurship workshop. This is a great opportunity for our students to learn valuable soft skills that will be extremely important when they enter the workforce, and our students are excited to participate in such a great event. Thank you.
All right, now we've heard from the current high school rep. Now, what does last year's high school rep have to say? You got to come to the podium because we're going to have questions for you. Welcome back, Ruthie.
State my name, my address.
You can tell us who you are. Exactly.
So you guys do that? All right. My name is Ruthika Narayanan. I was a former board representative. Rutgers is great. I saw Miss Lax, actually, I think a couple of days ago when I was running to my class. I think Hammersholt was there. On a field trip, I'm not really sure, but I remember I was like walking past a crowd of kids and I was like, oh my God, it's East Brunswick. And I was like, wait, this is my town. And then I walked past the kids and then Miss Lax was like running to the bus. And while she was running, she was like, hi. Yeah, so that was really cool. But Rutgers is good. I think for a lot of other people, it's like, I want to say like a little harder of a transition. I feel like for me, number one, being close to home, there's so many of my friends there. Like my best friend lives like literally across the road from me, so that works out perfectly, like great. But it's also like, I think like curriculum-wise, like I'm taking calc right now in college, but I already took calc in my senior year, but it's like the way they teach it is the same, what they teach, like the methods that they teach are also the same, so it's really easy for me. My calc class, so I'm not struggling there.
You say-
Anytime my professor asks, like, who doesn't know this, I'm like, I don't have to raise my hand, because I know
Are you
this.
saying that you went prepared?
Yes, I went prepared to college.
Good.
East Brunswick prepared me well for college.
Our little girl grew up.
Yep.
Now, what's the biggest difference you find now about, I mean, you have a little freedom, you're among college kids now, so what's the biggest difference? Any or challenges that you have now that you're in college?
To regulate my food intake, because
Regulate your food intake.
I like skip meals all the time. I'm
Not
like,
expect that answer.
I don't like actually like think like, okay, let me go get lunch. Like, I'm just too busy usually, so I'm just like all over the place.
That's
but
good.
yeah,
You forget to eat?
not that I forget. I know I'm not eating, and I know that it's wrong, but I just like, I have so many other things going on that I'm just like, I'll take care of it later. So I eat dinner and I eat breakfast, but I sometimes skip lunch. So
Got to keep those kind bars in your pocket.
Ruthie?
marketing, and I'm planning on double majoring in management. So see how that
Very
goes.
good.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Yeah,
Wow.
me too.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming to
thanks for
see
stopping in.
us.
Welcome back.
I see he's doing a great job.
He's
so.
doing a great job.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, not as good as the Ruthie report, I think.
Oh, there's some
But it's all right.
pressure.
Push Chronicle.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ruthie.
you,
All right.
Ruthie.
All right, anybody have good of the cause? I don't know how you're going to follow that.
Yes.
I want to try.
Please.
Mr. Kankra.
I had asked Dr. Valesky if I could visit some elementary schools for two reasons. One, I wanted to see what we do, and I also wanted to do some comparison to some of the student teachers that I'm seeing that I supervise. And he asked Nicole Tibbetts to arrange that for me, so I went to Central School a week ago, and we do some good stuff. We really do. She had me visit three grade levels, second, third, and fourth. And I want to name Rachel Moran, Jody Kroll, Sherry Cagnina, Amanda Alessandro, Lauren Persia were the teachers I saw. They're fantastic. The program we put together is great. The engagement of the students is just phenomenal. The use of technology, the appropriate use and the skilled use of technology, as well as just the differentiation in the classroom. And they didn't do it just for me. It was a really exciting time, and it was about an hour and a half, but what a great visit.
Did you feel how different things are today?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, just incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Technology.
The technology, the fourth grade teachers, the one special ed teacher and the two other regular ed teachers had done a screencast, which I didn't know what that was, but basically they're using the material they're going to present to the students, and they're doing voiceovers, and they're showing the students with this screencast how to pre-read and prepare to evaluate non-fiction text. It was really very exciting, a lot of fun. And the change from when we were young, for some of us, that was a very long time ago. Others, not as long. But what a difference, and how great a job they did. And it's nothing special. It was just another day in East Brunswick. It was really good. You ought to do that sometime. You got to get out there. It's worth it.
Well, Mrs. Alessandro has one student in her class that I am particularly fond of, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I know some pretty cool things going there. I know
It's really
that.
good stuff.
And
Yeah.
as my
Very
daughter
exciting.
went to Central, I can attest her favorite teacher of all time is Mrs. Cagnita.
You're not supposed to say
Mrs.
I
Cagnina's.
talks about her. I'll give her a plug because she talks about her to this day. And
Oh,
my daughter's
she's-
in seventh grade now.
They were, in that class, they were using Newsella, and just an amazing process. They can differentiate on the computer for the different students that are using it right on the spot, pretty much. And
Incredible how we had books,
Yeah.
or we'd get maybe a weekly reader or a magazine that might have a picture, but now, in real time, here's what's going on in whatever country we're studying right now, and they'll bring other kids
Right.
on there to do, sort of a live FaceTime type thing.
Right.
That's insane.
And it's tied in with the science and social studies, so they really have a great opportunity there. Mrs. Cagnina was great, and with Mrs. Tibbetts there, I felt tall. It was really great.
Well, as Dr. Moran can probably attest, Newsella has become a big hit with our staff.
So that's like a
great.
cross-curricular science, social studies type thing, I
Yes,
guess.
it's, I was just writing down things you were saying, because it was all crisp with the milk, but,
Got to come to the podium now, you're saying more than 3 words.
Yes, Yeah, Newsella is a platform by which students can read different news articles, but they're leveled.
Right.
That's the whole great thing about Newsella, so that the teacher could say, now we're all going to read an article about non-renewable resources, and your article is different than yours and different from yours, but the kids are all reading the same thing.
So sort of differentiated,
But
but
it's
the same
differentiated
subject.
on the spot,
Interesting.
and the kids take
Amazing.
quizzes on them, and the more quizzes they take, the more the computer learns their levels and
So
stuff like that.
we're getting the standard covered by covering the subject matter.
Oh, easily.
But we're doing it at their differentiated
Yeah.
level and their ability.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
saw a class a couple weeks ago where a teacher was using Newsella, and it was a social studies lesson I was observing, 4th grade, but she was using Newsella. They were reading an article about non-renewable resources, and she was teaching the kids how to annotate on the screen. So it had science, social studies, and ILA in it. And so if you didn't know that, it would be hard to tell right away which lesson, which subject it was in, and that's what's great about
Yeah,
it.
they can actually make, what you're saying, notes on the,
Yeah.
on the computer.
Right.
So it's right there, what they need to know and what they want to highlight for themselves.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And one of those teachers you mentioned is also an East Brunswick graduate, so I'll leave it at that. That's all right.
Yep. Excellent. Anyone else? Can't really top any of the ones we've had so far, I guess. On that note, we do have a need for closed session, so may I have a motion to go into closed session for the reasons specifically identified in the printed agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Becker, second by Mrs. Shaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.